Hello there, this is Underwear Guy, and today I'm taking a closer look at the 2Xist Sliq Mesh Jockstrap. This is a fairly new item. It's been out, I would say, only about a month or two, and it caught my eye because of the color, and then also the sports mesh fabric, which is kind of one of my favorite alternative fabrics compared to like a micromodal or a cotton spandex blend. Normally, when you buy the 2Xist underwear, you'll see it coming in a box package, and this is for the jockstrap that you're seeing here. It's got an interesting kind of solarized effect on the product here in the model, and it has a die cut window, which is a nice higher quality touch on the packaging, so you can actually see the item and the exact color that you're getting. The sports mesh line is available in a whole range of really brightly saturated colors. The ones that come off the top of my head are this bright orange. There's also a red, a purple, and I believe a couple other colors. And it's available in a jockstrap, a trunk, and a brief cut. This retails, as you can see here, for normally about $24, so it's up there in price for a jockstrap, but there's a lot of nice design touches that I think make it worth it. As you can see, this is made in Malaysia. And some of the things that they're touting are the extreme contoured pouch, the elastic straps, the ultra low waistband, which I actually don't necessarily agree that it's ultra low, but we'll talk more about that later. And it's a 91% nylon, 9% spandex fabric. Out of the box, you'll see it also comes with a brand tag. So that's if you're buying the underwear loose, you might see just this with the tag. So let's look at this a little bit closer. Obviously we have a new waistband design. These are color coded to match the main color of whatever the underwear is. So if it's purple, then you'll see this in a purple color. It's a really nice, very bold waistband. This, I think, is some newer font typography. I'm not sure I've seen that before on some of the 2Xist items. And it's a smooth microfiber, has a really low profile, and it's very smooth to the touch. I think something that I would like to point out is the seam in the back is really almost flawless. It's very clean, very little extra stitching, and the lineup of the accents and the stripes is almost perfect. So they clearly spent some attention to detail here to get that right. On the inside of the waistband, we have a really nice fabric logo and then wash and care tag. So I think that's great because it helps cover the seam, and it's also very smooth and comfortable, so it doesn't interfere with the overall fit and finish. Talking about the elastic, we also have on the edge of the pouch this really soft, almost basically fuzzy fabric. It's clearly a microfiber blend of some form, and it's got these nice accent stripes running all the way around, and of course those also make up the leg straps of the jockstrap. My only issue with this is that it's quite flimsy. The elastic is really, really, really stretchable. On the one hand, that's really nice if you're looking more for a fashion jockstrap, something that you just want to feel very easy in while you're wearing. But for something that's more sports oriented or really active, you actually want a little bit more tension in the elastic and a little bit more support. And I'm not sure I personally feel like this is quite right. I think either something with a little bit more tension in the elastic or just shortening the leg strap would go a long way. Because I have pretty athletic, large legs to begin with, and even wearing this has felt kind of a little loose. I didn't really feel like I would have been supported the right way with this particular cut. The sizing isn't oversized, so it's not like you can necessarily say, well, just order a size down, because the waistband is definitely a medium, so in general this runs true to size. The other piece on the leg bands is this cool attach here on the triangular accent, so this could have just been a simple strap attaching to the waist. Instead they did an extra bit of fabric and some design here, and I really think this is a great touch. Seen it on some other underwear designs. I think Andrew Christian had something similar like this, or still does, but it's an extra bit of effort gone into the manufacturing design that they didn't have to do, and I think that helps justify some of the extra price point. As you can see from here, if I'll bring this up closer, this is a mesh fabric with some pretty large holes in it. It's very stretchable, so that's always a big thing with me, is that if you're going to use this kind of sports mesh, it has to be the kind with spandex in it, otherwise it's a rather uncomfortable wearing experience. The pouch isn't quite a see-through simply because they've doubled it up, so I really appreciate that they've gone the extra mile and used a dual layer pouch. It seems really often with jockstraps they default, the manufacturers and the designers, to a single layer, and really for something that you're going to be sweating in and you know, in a sports environment or more active, you actually generally want 2 layers of fabric. So I think that's good, and quite frankly, for a certain amount of modesty, it makes more sense to have 2 layers of fabric. The pouch itself, I think I'm kind of divided on it. It does fit fairly well. I think it's definitely a fairly large pouch. It's almost a bit oversized on the vertical, which kind of makes, depending on your fit and quite frankly your personal endowment, it's a little bit overly large, I think. It might work for some. I think for sports, usually you're talking about a more compact pouch because you're trying to keep things in place without getting too graphic or too detailed in my description here. And I'm not sure this really does the best job of that. I kind of feel like this ends up pushing this into more of just a fashion jockstrap, which is great. I mean, for that purpose, I think this is awesome. I'm not going to necessarily say that's a huge downside. I think you could still definitely wear this with athletic activities. It just kind of depends on how much support you're looking for. The shape is actually pretty good. It's not super lifting, but it definitely helps keep you from getting squashed down and feeling overly confined, so I think that works really well. On the inside, I did want to emphasize again how superbly crafted the stitching is. Usually with underwear, the edges of the fabric are cut fairly haphazardly. This is some of the most precise edging and seaming I've seen when you're looking at the waistband and the pouch join. I was really impressed, and I really think that's one thing you just cannot emphasize any more about this brief than is the fact that it's just so well made. I really feel like, although I haven't worn this a lot, I really feel like this is going to be fairly durable. Just the combination of the materials and the stitching, it's all double stitched, and it feels very strong. So I really give a lot of credit for the designers and the factories that they're having this particular underwear item made in terms of the quality control that I see. And as you can see, the attachment of the strap, pretty simple at the base of the pouch. And one thing coming back to the pouch, as I mentioned, because this vertical distance is so large, this tends to make it right up a little bit higher on your waist, so I'm not exactly sure. Again, I'd call this a super low rise or low-waisted jockstrap. It's definitely much more of a normal waist or even tiny bit high waist, but that's just my own opinion, and really the fit of a jockstrap is more than anything really going to depend on your own dimensions, your own body type, so it becomes more variable because you don't have other restrictors like the baseline of the leg or the sides of on a trunk to help kind of make things fit differently. So I think with jockstraps it's a little bit more variable. Overall, I would say I do recommend this jockstrap if you're looking for something fun. I think the biggest draw, besides, as I mentioned, the construction, is the fabric. The color range, I really like bright colors, and I think it's great that the 2Xist designers are manufacturing this in some really bold and very saturated colors. And I also think if you're just looking for something very comfortable, this is actually a great loungewear or fashion jockstrap in general. So I do recommend it on that front. If you're looking for a really good sports jockstrap, I think I would maybe look elsewhere. That's my only caveat. Otherwise, check it out. If you can, it's available at a lot of different stores online and in person. You can also sometimes find these in Macy's. That's where a lot of 2Xist apparel is available. So I think at that point, I would ask you to tell me what you think of it if you've tried it out or if you've worn one. And I hope you stay tuned because I'll be doing more reviews and more overviews down the road. Thank you.